The following Zoom session is being recorded and will appear later today on my YouTube channel, Math with Mayo. There are two different classes that may be observing this session. Therefore, when you participate in the Zoom meeting, if you do not wish for your picture or your name to be made public, please leave the video off and use an alias name. If you have questions during the meeting but do not wish to speak, email me at bmayo@ybcc.edu and I'll respond as soon as I can. All right. So today and tomorrow we'll be reviewing for the final exam. So whatever you want to look at, we'll look at. Anybody have any specific questions they'd like to look at?
I want to look at over my test, the answers that I got wrong. They were all the word problems and I just was not understanding them.
All right, we can do that. Let's see here. Lindsay, are you in? Yes, there you are. Okay. So the chapter 11 test.
Yeah.
All righty. I probably should have done this in the first place. I'll go ahead and do it now. And that is to put this other screen so that you can see everything all at once. Here we go. Give me just a minute here and I'll get this all set up. Okay. All right. So this is from the chapter 11 test. Put this over here. Chapter 11 test number 5. Okay, can everybody see the WebAssign screen if I got it set up the way I'm supposed to? Somebody?
Yeah.
Yep, okay, great. An initial deposit of $15,000 earns 7% interest, compounded monthly. Aha. So that tells us that we're going to use the formula A equals P times 1 plus R over K to the KT power. If it had said compounded continuously, we would have used the other formula. All right. So let's see here. An initial deposit of $15,000, so that's P. Earns 7% interest, so that's R, 7%, which is 0.07. Compounded monthly, so K is 12. How much will be in the account after 9 years? So time is 9 years, and A is the unknown. Any questions about the information? All right, so A equals 15,000 times 1 plus 0.07 over 12 to the 12 times 9 power. Now, 0.07 divided by 12 is not a nice number, so I'm not going to calculate it and round it off. I'm just going to leave it as it is. So on my calculator, I'm going to put in 15,000 and then a left-hand parentheses, 1 plus 0.07 divided by 12. So let's see here, 0.07 divided by 12. And then a right-hand parentheses. And then the little caret power key. And then a left-hand parentheses, 12 times 9. Okay. And then close it up and then push equals. And I get A equals 28,112.65458. Now, it says round to the nearest cent. Since this is dollars, the nearest cent would be right there. The 4 would round down, so you'd get $28,112.65. Okay with that? Any questions there?
No, it makes sense. I used the wrong formula.
Ah, okay. All right, let's see here.
Yeah, so did I in one of the problems.
Now, problem number 9, here compounded continuously. So here we're going to use that other formula. Okay. So this is number 9. An account now contains $36,000 or $3,610 and has been accumulating interest at 8% annual interest, compounded continuously. How much was in the account 6 years ago? So first of all, because it's compounded continuously, we're going to use this formula. Second of all, this is going into the past. We know what it contains now. How much did it was in the account 6 years ago? So we've got A, P, R, and T. The accumulated amount, which is what's there now, is the 3610. How much was in the account 6 years ago? That's the unknown starting amount. Okay, the interest rate is 8%, which is 0.08, and the time is 6 years. Any questions about that?
No.
All right, so 3,610 equals P times E to the 0.08 times 6 years. Because I need to isolate P, I'm going to go ahead and calculate 0.08 times 6. Okay, so 0.08 times 6. So that's going to be to the 0.48 power. Okay, then I'm going to divide both sides of the equation by e to the 0.48 power. That will isolate P. Sorry, question?
No, I said, oh, when I calculated it, I did E to the 0.08 times 6. And
Sure.
then that number and then divided.
Okay, did you round off that number?
No.
Okay, well, that's fine then. So you calculated all of that and then use that number. Yeah, that's fine, as long as you didn't round it off. Okay, so ahead of time, that is. So P equals, let's see here, 3,610 divided by e to the 0.48 power. And I get 2,233.808044. This is money. Round to the nearest cent would be right there, but the 8 would round up. So it's going to be 2,002. Whoops, too many commas there. $2,233.81. Any questions there? Again, the clues compounded continuously. So we use this formula here, and it's in the account now. We're going back to the past. So we know the present amount. We don't know the initial amount. All right. Let's see here.
$16. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Number 16, a sum of $4,000 deposited in an account grows to $6,000 in 4 years, assuming annual compounding. Okay, so that's not continuous. So we're going to use this formula again. What interest rate is being paid? Round your answer to 2 decimal places. Okay, so P-A-R-K-T. Sum of $4,000 deposited, so that's the initial amount. Grows to $6,000, that's the ending amount. Assuming annual compounding, so K is 1. What interest rate, so R is the unknown, is being paid? Time is 4 years. Okay. So $6,000 equals $4,000 times 1 plus, looks like parentheses, 1 plus R over 1 to the 1 times 4 power. Okay. So I can clean that up a little bit. $6,000 equals $4,000 times 1 plus R to the 1 times 4, so to the 4th power. Okay. Now, what I need to do next is get rid of that 4,000 in front of the 1 plus R. So I'm going to divide both sides by 4,000. And this all reduces down to, let's see, that's going to be what, 1.5 equals 1 plus R to the 4th power. Now, I need to get R by itself, so I'm going to take the 4th root of both sides. Actually, what I'm going to do, I'm going to switch sides here. Just turn it around, just because I like to have the variable on the left. Okay. So now I'm going to take the 4th root of that and the 4th root of that. But when you take an even root, you're going to get what, a plus or minus? Okay. So now I've got 1 plus R equals plus or minus the 4th root of 1.5. Okay. I'm going to subtract 1. I'm going to come over here. R equals -1 plus or minus the 4th root of 1.5. Okay, let's see here. I'm going to do the plus first. So -1 plus the 4th root. So I've got a couple of options. Let me do this. Let me go to the next page. I want to copy that, so I want to have lots of room. -1 plus or minus the 4th root of. So R equals -1 plus or minus the 4th root of 1.5. Okay, so R is going to be -1 plus, and R is going to be -1 minus. Okay. Now, there's a couple of ways I can put that into the calculator. Let's review. One of them is I could say, well, that's 1.5 to the 1/4 power. Another one, there's this X root button. And remember, when you access that, you put the index in first. So you'd put a 4 in and then push that and then put 1.5. Okay. I'm going to use this one, but we could do it either way. So on my calculator, I've got -1 plus, and then I'm going to put in a 4. And then I'm going to access second. So I push the second button and then that. And then I put in the 1.5. And that gives me, oh, let's see, there's the 1.5 equals, that gives me 0.10668,192. Okay, I'm going to come back to that in a minute. Now, if I do the minus, that's going to give me -2.10668,192. All right, now, an interest rate, since it's growing from $4,000 to $6,000, the interest rate couldn't be negative, could it? That would imply that it's shrinking. So that was no good. This isn't done though. That's not a percent. So to convert it to a percent, we'd multiply it by 100% or move the decimal point over 2 places and add a percent sign. But then it says round your answer to 2 decimal places, which would be right there. The 8 would round up, so you'd get 10.67% would be your final answer. That's a great investment. You should put all your money there. Okay, any questions about that one? All right.
No, thank you.
Okay, somebody else or something different? It's your time. You ask, we'll do it. And if nobody has any questions, it'll be a short meeting. You'll all go back to bed.
Can we go over number 5?
Sure. Now on yours, Marcos?
Yes, please.
Okay. Give me just a minute here. Let me stop the screen. Okay, let's find. Come on. Okay. here. Here we go. So this is from the test.
Yeah.
All righty. So number 5, I'll get that ready and then I'll bring it up. Okay, here we go. All right, so again, this is the chapter 11 test, and this is number 5. An initial deposit of $7,000 earned 6% interest compounded monthly. So there's the clue. Okay, so we've got A, P, R, K, and T. An initial deposit of $7,000. So that's 7,000. Earns 6% interest. That's R, which we convert into a decimal number. Compounded monthly, so K is 12. How much will be in the account? That's the ending amount after 6 years. Okay. Any question about where I got all those numbers? All right. So A equals $7,000 times 1 plus 0.01, 0.06, excuse me, over 12 raised to the 12 times 6 power. So again, I can simplify things and predetermine like 12 times 6 is 72, et cetera, et cetera. I'm just going to do it all at once. So I'm going to get 7,000 parentheses 1 plus 0.06 divided by 12 close parentheses, 0.06 divided by 12 close parentheses, a little power button, parentheses 12, 12 times 6, close parentheses equals, and I get 10,024.30995, round to the nearest cent, which is there. This 9 would round up, so we're going to get $10,024.31. Okay with that?
I see where I did my mistake. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. Okay, did you want to do the other one? I think there was another one you missed, or not?
Which one was it?
Oh,
number 11. I think we already did that one.
oh, okay.
Yeah, I saw where I did my mistake.
Okay, so you're good.
Yeah.
All right, anything else you want to do?
My part, I'm good.
Okay, anybody else? Anything at
I have
all?
a quick question.
Can barely hear you.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Okay, great. I have a quick question. Yeah. Let's see. I think it's chapter 11 review, number 14.
Okay, let's see here. Okay. Here we go. Chapter 11 review. You said number, was it 14?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Reason I'm saying that is I don't know if you were present when I did this for somebody else's class, and it's just kind of messy because the author cleans things up, and so what's in the box isn't necessarily what you come up with, that it's equivalent to it.
Okay.
Okay, so let's see here. This is number 14, chapter 11 review. Okay, so we've got f of x equals 8 minus 7x, and f inverse of x equals negative the quantity x minus 8 over 7. Okay. Just trying to think about whether it might be easier. I'm going to take a risk here. I'm going to take this and I'm going to simplify it ahead of time because I think they did anyway, ultimately. So this would be like that, which would be that, which would be that. So basically they're taking this and rewriting it like that. Do you see what I did there? Distributing the subtraction sign and then just changing the order to put the positive one in front. You okay with that, Kendra?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, and
Cool. Thank you. Yeah.
you don't have to do that, but if you want your answer, because you guys can all see the correct answers on the screen in the box, in the right boxes, or I should say one version of the correct answers. Okay. So F composed with F inverse of X equals F of F inverse of X. Okay. And that's what they've got right there. Now, the next step is you would substitute, you would replace F inverse of X with this. So then you'd get that, okay, which is what they've got in the box here. But again, you could have had this in there and also would have been correct. But just using what they did. So then what do you do next? You take this and you put it in here. So you get 8 minus 7 times the quantity 8 minus X over 7, which is what they wanted you to do on this line. Oops. So what would go in this box would be, again, either all of this or this, okay?
That makes sense.
All right, then the next thing you do is the 7 and the 7 would reduce. You'd have 8 minus X. Hang on here. Oh, that, right? Which would then be 8 minus 8 plus X, 8 minus 8 plus X. So your next line you'd have, and then this, they wrote it as 8 plus X minus 8. So again, I wish they wouldn't have done that, but they did. So then your final answer, hang on here, is you get 8 plus X minus 8, which is X. Okay. You all right with that?
Yeah, that's good. Thank you.
Sure. Do you want me to do the second part or are you good?
So for the second part, it's, what is that basically? Like, how do I turn the first part into the second part? Or what is
You
that?
don't. What you're doing, okay. So you have two functions, f of X and f inverse of X. You're supposed to show that they are inverses. And the way you would show that, if you compose them in both directions, in each case, you should get a final answer of X. So here we're taking F composed with F inverse and we get X. Down here, they're taking F inverse composed with F and getting X.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Do you want me to do any more with it or?
I think I got it, but thank you.
Okay. And again, the answers that they got are correct, but you could get equivalent answers that are a little more messy and it should still be correct, but your final answer should still be X. All right, was there any others, Kendra?
No, that was it. The other question that I got wrong, I just forgot to put it as a decimal instead of a percentage.
Gotcha. Yeah, yeah. All right. Anybody else? Anything?
Could you go over what the final test is going to be like and recommend what we should be studying?
Okay. All righty. Let's see. Give me just a second here. a question that people always ask, and I have two things to say about it. As a student, I ask the same question, but I always find it amusing because it doesn't really tell you anything. And here's the question that people ask. They say, how many questions are on the final?
There's 36 or 35, isn't there?
Yeah, I think I told somebody there's.
It shows that we can look at like how many questions there are on it.
Yeah, I think there's like, there's 25 questions, but some of them are two parts. So I think it has, let's see here, if I can find the, yeah, it has 35 points. Now, what's on it? And this is why I find it amusing. You could have a final exam with one question. And if you didn't study what's on that one question, you're toast. So knowing how many questions doesn't, it's pretty comprehensive. It's pretty well balanced between, we've done what, chapter 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. So we've had 6 chapters. So there's roughly 5 questions from each chapter, okay? And I didn't go in and deliberately pick the most obscure, most difficult problems. I tried to pick, you know, what's the most important stuff in this chapter, like in chapter 6, you know, do you know how to factor? Do you know how to solve a second degree equation by factoring? Chapter 7 was rational expressions. So you're adding and subtracting, multiplying and dividing, algebraic fractions. There was what, story problem equations in that. Chapter 8, we got into functions. Chapter 9 was radicals. 10 was the quadratic formula. 11 was exponentials. I mean, that's a real rough overview. What I would do is I would go back and maybe look over. Can you still access your tests, but you just can't do anything with them? Can you actually still see the questions and the answers?
Yeah.
That's what I would do. I would go back through and look over each of your chapter tests, make sure that you understand, you know, the concepts behind them. Again, you know, that's what I would do. My recommendation.
Okay.
And I know there's a lot there, which is one of the reasons I put the test on Wednesday instead of today, just to give you more time to review. Is there anything else that you'd like to look at right now? Okay, this would be my advice to y'all. I'm going to meet here again tomorrow at 11:30. Between now and then, if you have any specific questions you want to look at, bring them and we'll take a look at them. Okay.
How long is tomorrow's meeting going to be? Because I'm going to try to go through all of the chapter tests tonight. And then the ones that I'm not understanding, ask about those tomorrow.
Yeah, well, I was planning just meeting at 11:30 again, but I mean, we don't have to stop at 12:20.
Okay.
I mean, I want to have dinner sometime.
Okay.
Yeah,
Perfect.
but you know, okay. And if
Okay,
you've got like tons and tons of questions and we run into problems, or maybe we can meet during my office hour, though it's not officially scheduled this week. But anyway, come with what you got and we'll take it from there.
Thank you.
You bet. Anybody else, anything at this point? All righty, we'll have a great rest of the day. I am going to stop the recording.